Uh, I started streaming right as you dropped off. We're already live, Brandon.
I know, all right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just recording Reaper. Oh no, this changes
Quick,
everything.
quick, start the music.
Uh, should I start the music now?
Yeah, we're live. It's already happening.
Oh, what's wrong music? Oh my god. That's right, this is Apathetic Enthusiasm with your hosts, Travis Menard and Brandon Cruz.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? I'm Travis.
Hey everybody, this is Brandon, and welcome to our show.
Welcome to Apathetic Enthusiasm, the show that we haven't done in over a month, and so we can't even remember how to get the music right.
It's not that we don't know how to get the music right. It's that there's a lot of stuff going on tonight, and it was like, hey, you want to record this tonight? I'm like, yeah. Well, actually, you were like, are we gonna do this? You said,
Are we gonna
what?
make this podcast or not, Brandon?
Then I was like, yeah, let's do Monday. And then it got to the time to record, and I was like, no, I'm sleepy. And then no, let's do it tomorrow. And then it was like, no, this is your wife's birthday.
We should maybe not do that.
Anyway, so now it's Wednesday.
Wednesday, the day that's not quite anybody's birthday, and is perfect. We're in the middle of the week, last day of July. Everybody's hanging out. Omar's already here hanging out. If you,
is he?
Oh yeah, he's here. He's here.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who labored through that arduous month or so that we took off. If you are a fan of Interdimensional RSS, then you know we made that podcast first. But but it is now an Apathetic Enthusiasm week. If you want to follow what we're up to between episodes, you can follow us on Twitter at Apathusiast. I'm at Jugglemino. That's Mino. And he's at Barnyard Cruise. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm Show. Not posting a ton over there, but you could follow our Instagram, apathetic_enthusiasm. And, of course, send us an email at apatheticenthusiasmshow@gmail.com. You can watch this live over on Twitch at twitch.tv/apathetic enthusiasm or on YouTube at don't worry about that. Just search Apathetic Enthusiasm on YouTube. You'll find us. Do us a favor. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are not that far away from 100 subscribers, but once we hit 100, we can get that sweet custom URL. So if you want us to be able to say what our URL is for our YouTube channel, make sure to head out and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can watch us live. And I don't know, hit the bell notification, because I hear YouTubers say that now. So if there's a bell on there, hit it. I don't know if we have a bell, Brandon. How you been? You having a good day?
I am having a good day. A good day. I'm keeping the lights a little darker in my room. That way you can't see the flesh-colored bandage that is across my nose.
It's all movie magic, everybody. It's special effects.
Yeah.
You had a bit of a tumble. You feeling all right? You're not no worse for the wear?
Little bit of a spill. Yeah, we went to Texas Roadhouse.
Ooh,
My
fancy
wife
with the peanuts on the ground.
That's right. Well, they don't do peanuts on the ground anymore, right?
Oh,
you don't do peanuts on the ground.
We've just revealed our first topic, because apparently Texas Roadhouse in the Midwest is different from Texas Roadhouse in Florida. Because I throw those shells on the floor, son. What is the situation down
you have an extra bucket. You get an extra bucket to put your
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, they still got high schoolers sweeping that stuff up in my town.
That's crazy. So I think happened. Here's what I think happened. I think I don't know what happened, but the first time I saw them not putting it on the floor is, I think, Colorado Springs. I don't think they were putting it on the floor, and I didn't know that at first because I was like eating peanuts and I was like toss.
You're like literally just throwing shells at like the waitress and like other patrons. You're just, I don't care if you have a peanut allergy. Take this,
sir. Take this. And we had like peanut shell wars and all that.
And you're like walking to the bathroom, it's just like,
yeah. like instead of like in the urinal, instead of ice, there were just
It's
peanuts
just
shells.
peanut shells. They're everywhere.
Uh, but anyway, so it started thunderstorming, and we're done. And so I didn't want them to walk in the rain, the pouring rain. So I'm like, okay, let me go get the car, and hurry and quick step about it. And I was going around a corner on the sidewalk, and I did like a lateral slide, fall, and like slam my knee. I had a hole in my pants already, and then because I'm a '90s
Because
kid.
you're an edgy skater boy.
But my now I have a hole in the other pant leg, and
Just
I
makes
don't know
them
what.
better jeans. That's all.
True, true, true. But I don't know what happened with my nose. Like I didn't hit my head on the ground, but I had a scar on my nose from playing soccer and wearing glasses and trying to head the ball, and the ball hitting the glasses and pushing my nose skin
Mm.
down. And so what I think happened is when I fell, my hand pushed my the ground pushed my hand into my face and then like made it splatter blood. So
Mm.
whatever.
Mm.
So
So graphic.
as I
But
go into work tomorrow, they'll be like, "Whoa, somebody was partying a little hard last night."
you should have seen the peanut shells.
You should see the other guy. The other
uh,
guy's pavement.
I hope you feel better. I hope you have a full facial recovery. But I will say, on a final note about peanuts and Texas Roadhouse, my family goes to that restaurant on a regular basis, with my wife being allergic to peanuts, like very much so allergic to peanuts, to the point where now she has to carry like an EpiPen around.
A what? I
Yeah,
don't know what that is, but oh my, I didn't know that.
yeah, and well, she finally got an allergy test for like the first time in her
Ever.
whole life, and she's like, I think I might be allergic to peanuts, and so they did that test, and they're like, oh girl, you allergic, all right. Here, take this overpriced pen so that your husband can stab you if you ever eat a peanut. So, yeah, and
Well,
then we went to a Texas Roadhouse to celebrate. So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, but she's okay. She's fine. Uh,
Omar and I, we have a friend named Don, and there's this restaurant, Five Guys. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Five
I've
Guys.
heard of all five of the guys.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And whenever we go to Five Guys,
They
we
have peanuts
like,
too, right?
yeah, like, hey Don, you want some peanuts? And he's like, no, I'm allergic to nuts. How many times do I have to tell you this? Uh,
And now it's just a bit that you do every time because you know, right?
oh yeah, yeah. Omar doesn't go because those burgers are too damn expensive. Price of burgers is too damn high.
The burgers are too high. Yeah, I like Five Guys. It's fine. Um, People try to put it up against In-N-Out Burger,
Yeah.
and
Mm-mm.
let me tell you another little story. And this is a way for us to commiserate as Cali kids.
Yeah.
I was in Utah recently, and they have In-N-Out Burger in Utah. So the first time I was in Utah, I did not realize this until almost the end of my trip, and I don't think I think I didn't get In-N-Out Burger that trip, and I was like devastated. Uh,
Rightfully so.
so when I heard I was going back, I was like, I am first meal in Utah is In-N-Out Burger. So I went and I got it, and then like some people I was there with were like, "Oh yeah, we'll go to In-N-Out Burger." And one dude had never had it before, and he had it, and he's like, I didn't like it, wasn't good, and man, it's the worst burger I've ever had. And I was like, you are dead to me. Like I have a different way. Like I can't fully respect him anymore. So
Yeah. Well,
so let us know what you think about fast food, guys.
this is that thing where regions across the U.S., across the world, they get like sucked into like, no, this is it. This is what you need. This is what your body craves. Jack in a Box, like Jack in a Box tacos. You gotta
They're
get
so
that
bad. They're so bad, but I mean, you got to get them, right?
get that sourdough Jack.
It's like $1. Yeah.
Go to Del Taco. Get get some Del Scorcho sauce, all these Cali Kids
You're
things,
you're
right?
bringing up so many memories right now in my head.
But then in other regions of the world, like Whataburger. Whataburger
Yeah,
is a huge Texas thing.
big
Uh,
Texas.
and Whataburger is pretty awesome. Five
Yeah,
Guys is delicious.
it
Um,
is.
but it's just and it's hype. There's a hype associated with it where you don't you're like, well, that wasn't as good. It's like when somebody forces you to watch a YouTube video that they think is hilarious, and you watch
Mm,
it and you're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty good.
it's funny.
It's fine.
Like when Omar makes me watch videos, keep cutting out because he's out around
Yeah,
watching.
I
Uh,
uh, I will say in terms of In and Out, they have a very simple menu, but there's a lot of other things that you could order or other ways to order things that are not apparent on the menu. And so, like, the individual in question who went to In N Out Burger just
mhm.
saw something on the menu and ordered it, like, as is.
Okay,
No,
it, it
didn't know what an animal style was. Didn't know
didn't
what a
fancy it up.
yeah. Didn't know about what double toasting or
Yeah.
you can't. And so yeah, like there's I I had
You know,
to I had to concede that he was ill prepared for his maiden voyage through In and Out.
we should you should have written some kind of like training document for him. So
That actually came up. They're like, "Is there like a guide somewhere where I can get all the tips of things you can order at an In-N-Out burger?" I was like, "I'm sure there is. It's
sure it
2019. The internet does exist." So,
does. It
yeah.
does.
Uh,
Um
sp-
well,
uh,
so speaking of California things, I think it's a good enough segue to get into our main topic, which is okay, California, whatever. What happens in California? Nothing. Except San Diego Comic Con.
yeah.
Woo!
I should have brought my pocket operator down so I could do sound effects.
Sure.
But it's not in my office because it's somewhere else. San Diego Comic Con. That's right. San Diego, Whale's Vagina, the
Mm.
land of my birth, and the home of the biggest pop culture phenomenon, maybe. Period.
This
Like,
side of the Mojave Desert.
yeah, of Death Valley. So yeah, San Diego Comic Con was a couple weeks ago. We talked exclusively about the Rick and Morty announcements over on Interdimensional RSS, but there are lots of other things worth talking about out of a San Diego
Mhm.
Comic Con, and lots of movie trailers and announcements for movies. Do you have a particular like exciting thing that you're still like stoked about, or has all the excitement faded and you're just like, meh, whatever, I'll wait.
Has y'all all the excitement faded? Uh, for some reason that this year, maybe it's because we have almost an exclusive focus on Rick and Morty a majority of the time.
Laser
That
focus.
that I didn't pay as much attention to a lot of the other stuff, and I didn't follow up with a lot of the stuff either. So I caught some things here and there. The Top Gun
Top
to
Gun Maverick.
I don't know if that was a SDCC thing, but they
It
released it
was. I think it
around.
was. Yeah. It's the story of uh, a slow promoting naval officer who
Yeah,
still loves flying, and yeah, Tom Cruise is in another movie with jets. Sounds good
yeah,
to me.
sounds good to me. Yeah, I admittedly, like 2 weeks later, I still haven't watched the trailer, but I caught a little bit of it while I was looking for the Democratic debates last night, and I was like, oh, hey, there's the beginning of this Top Gun 2 trailer.
Yeah. Which thanks to everyone who is watching us live instead of presidential debates. That's thank you for assessing your priorities and hanging out with us. Yeah, I thought the Top Gun Maverick trailer was neat. I think there was a new Terminator trailer that looked pretty good. Um,
And
s-
yeah,
ex- you haven't seen that trailer either?
well, if there's a new one from that day,
Jeez,
that
what have you
weekend.
been?
I haven't seen it,
What have you been
but
doing with your life?
there is news that I'm excited about with that. The guy who was accused of domestic abuse, Edward Furlong, is back into the Terminator series. So along with Linda Hamilton, Edward Furlong is back into it. I I'm just really excited about that movie in general.
Dark Fate.
And
Big.
knowing that Tim Miller, I think, who directed the first Deadpool, he's directing it. They've confirmed that it's going to be rated R. I'm happy to look into that movie and watch it. Um,
There's a Star Trek series
yeah,
with Patrick Stewart coming out, Star Trek Picard. So all you Next Generation fans probably going to be real amped up about that.
yeah, the
Uh,
series.
yeah, so
Are you?
it's gonna be a CBS All Access series though, which
Yeah. And,
that's a paywall I haven't gotten behind.
real quick, Omar asks, who's gonna look worse, Edward Furlong or Linda Hamilton? And then he laughs his ass off. Um,
Uh,
I
Eddie Furlong.
Eddie Furlong. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
As-
like asking like who's gonna win in a fight. Somebody who's dead or uh, a beetle who eats flesh. It is what it is. The flesh-eating beetle is gonna
yeah,
eat the dead person. They're
that's
gonna
it.
win.
That's it.
It's
Uh,
an interesting
did
fight. You know.
did you catch the new trailer for HBO's Watchmen series?
I did. Oh yeah. I did. What do you think of that?
I am very intrigued by it. Obviously, the graphic novel is a classic. It's
Class.
classic. And Zack Snyder's film interpretation of the movie, um, I I didn't hate. I
It looked nice.
yeah. I it had good qualities about it. And so this series kind of I'm confused because I still haven't read enough to figure out if it's like a prequel, a sequel, some sort of in between. Do you have your hand up? Like what's
I
going on?
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I raise my hand to like whenever you're done with your thought, then you can call on me, and then I
Okay.
would
I
ask
was
a
gonna let the other co-hosts share their thoughts before. No,
uh,
please. Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Menard.
Brandon, you have a point to share with the class.
Yeah, on that, I will alleviate some of that confusion on your behalf. So the new Watchmen show on HBO is a sequel to the Watchmen comic, and I make sure I say comic/graphic novel because it's not following Snyder's vision. It's following the events that were laid out in the comic.
Very good. Very
So
good.
extension of that,
Good.
which is great. I love I sorry, strike that. I do not love Snyder. Snyder is very good with visuals and stylized direction. What he's not good at is having good, coherent, enjoyable written movies.
Yes, I
So
100% agree. And I believe Damon Lindelof is involved in this project.
oh god,
So
The Leftovers I heard was good. So
I liked a lot of the leftovers. Obviously, I'm a huge Lost fan. Um, so I don't necessarily think that that is a bad thing. I think it could be a good thing. But we'll see. We'll see. I continue to pay home box office money despite Game of Thrones being off the air. So, yeah, Watchmen coming on out. All right, a topic that is certainly not something we've shied away from on this podcast is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've reviewed many Marvel films on this podcast. We've talked about tons of them, and Marvel had a huge panel at San Diego Comic-Con where they pretty much laid out all of the plan for Phase 4 and life after Endgame, all of the movies that will be coming out, lots of series that will be coming out, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So movies that we have coming out in May of 2020, we have Black Widow. Finally, ScarJo gets her own feature film, even though it will be a prequel, obviously. And then in November of 2020, huh?
Is it obvious, Travis?
I don't know. Have you purchased Endgame, available now on digital home video?
Does
On
it say?
Blu-ray, August 13th or something like that.
Oh, well,
Yeah. So Eternals, that's the big news story. November 2020. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's February 2021. Doctor Strange and in the Multiverse of Madness in May of 2021.
Let's not just gloss over the Shang-Chi and the Legend of, and the Ten Rings thing.
I'm willing to go back to any of these. I was just saying all of them.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because the other one is Thor: Love and Thunder, November 5th, 2021. So you want to talk about Shang-Chi?
Yeah. Just real quick. The cool thing to me about Shang-Chi, I know nothing about the character, but what I do know is about the Ten Rings, which goes back to the whole Mandarin, which then goes back to Iron Man 3, which everyone was like, "Oh, real cool way to just make the Mandarin just a crappy fake character."
Right. Yeah.
And one of like the Marvel like one shots, like those like 5 minute kind of shorts that they had. I don't know if they had them on the DVDs or what. But there was one where it talked about Ben Kingsley in prison and him being in prison, and everyone's like, "Oh, look at this guy! Oh," and he's like a star now in prison. But the real Mandarin kind of kind of referencing that there's an actual Mandarin who's not really happy that this guy was pretending to be
Was
him.
assuming or his name and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was a big headline I read, was like, the real Mandarin will be the baddie in this one. I'm interested in that one. I mean, aside from, I guess, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Thor, like those are well-known characters for the MCU. I don't know a whole lot about the Eternals, to be honest. I haven't really followed that. I watched a few YouTube videos and read some websites to kind of familiarize myself with the characters and sort of their origin a little bit.
Yeah.
But I again, they can take some creative license to adjust how that actually plays out in the MCU. But the cast, a lot of big names involved in that project as well. So that should be cool. I know Scarlet Witch is supposed to be joining Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so she'll be back for that. And then Thor: Love and Thunder, a lot of big stuff coming out of that one. They talk about how Natalie Portman will be assuming the role of Thor in that film, and she lifted Mjolnir, or however you say that, the hammer on stage at Comic-Con at the panel. So which again aligns with the comics, and Thor is a female in the comics, and so a cool way for them to transition that character while also like giving Chris Hemsworth like an out, and even though he's gonna be in the movie, so
Yeah. Taika Waititi and James Gunn has said that it does in fact take place before Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Which was not on this list at all.
Exactly right. Of all those movies, Travis, of all the ones that are coming out, the Marvel films, which ones like jump out at you, or the ones that like, yeah, I want to see that one, or which ones are kind of, meh?
I'm excited to see Eternals, just because I know very little about it, and it's like a bunch of like untouched possibilities, and it's a serious ensemble cast, so it's an opportunity to bring a lot of new and interesting characters together and into a film sort of series that a lot of major characters have gone away recently. So I'm curious to see how that all comes together and what implications that has. going forward. And then Thor: Love and Thunder, I'm just like super excited about because after Ragnarok, I was just like, man, the way the direction that Thor has gone, I don't know, I love it, and I'm excited to see what they do with that movie. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm. I will say. You may have said Blade. I don't know if you did, but if you
I did
didn't,
not say Blade yet. No, I did not mention
oh,
Blade.
okay. So Mahershala Ali is Blade. Uh, Wesley Snipes went on his face Instagram or his Twitter, and he was like, "Hey, I'm excited about this. This is gonna be good." Uh, I used to think like, who could they get to replace Wesley Snipes as Blade? There can't be
Who
any.
possibly?
There's probably not a single actor, with the exception of maybe like Chris Rock, who could replace Wesley Snipes
Chris
as,
Rock,
as Blade. Um,
Will Smith, the
DL Hughley,
the genie himself.
but as a genie. But when they announced Mahershala Ali, I was like, oh crap, yeah, no, that's it, that's the one.
Yeah, no,
So
I think it's a great casting, and I'm very I'm very intrigued by the film and how Blade will sort of fold into the MCU. If it will be sort of this like tangent sort of film that maybe exists in the same universe but doesn't get wrapped up in the other proceedings of the MCU, or if it will tie in somehow, and how that will work.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh, and then I will say that the the next one that I'm most excited about is has to be Doctor Strange teaming up with Scarlet Witch for whatever happens in the Multiverse of Madness. Because few things. One, because it's supposed to be a horror movie, more of the a scary movie of the MCU.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm excited about that. As you know,
Yeah.
my love of
Our
horror.
resident horror expert. I was very confused because I thought when we were talking about these announcements, that was the movie that you said you were like not so fired up about, but maybe I just completely misread your text.
Maybe so at first I think I was like, uh, but the more I thought about it, and I'll get into that in a second, the more I was like, you know what? Actually, could be really, really, really cool. Real quick, Omar says, hey, maybe bring Snipes back to play Whistler in the Blade movie. That's not a bad casting choice, my friend.
Well,
Um,
we'll see if he's up for it. I don't know.
Chris might still be available though, so just saying. Uh, but here's why I'm excited. The second point on in the multiverse of madness, um, and that is with Scarlet Witch in the comics, as you may or may not know, the whole House of M thing, where she basically went crazy and then she got rid of all the mutants, right?
Yep. No more mutants.
Uh, I would love to see, and if they used it in this way, it to be a kind of subversion of those expectations, and instead of getting rid of all the mutants, she is the one who implements the mutants into the MCU, bringing them all in that way.
That
Omar
could
might
be
not,
epic. That could be huge. Yeah.
because that's far down the line, right? But that you know you gotta bring them in somehow.
Yeah. You don't go buying all those properties and then not use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really. I am interested to see how they will start to implement some classic X-Men characters into the MCU now that they have the rights to them, because I mean obviously Dark Phoenix is coming out like this month. Um so they're right, isn't it?
Oh,
August?
Dark Phoenix, the movie.
Yeah.
No, that movie came out. It came out. It came out
No.
2 months ago, and
No.
it bombed. Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
yeah. How'd you miss that movie? I know how you missed that movie because it got terrible reviews and it wasn't very good. By all,
I
by
am
all.
I am shooketh right now. Are you kidding me? That
How did you miss that? How did you, how did you miss that?
I'm
So
googling. I'm googling right now. I'm
everyone out there, Dark Phoenix came out and it's not in theaters anymore because nobody wants to watch it.
that
And it was the end of Bryan Singer's reign. Thank God, over mutants, because he, yeah, oh yeah,
I
Omar confirms it was a hot mess.
Oh my
I
goodness. Okay. Well, there we go. I am shocked. How did I miss this movie?
no idea,
What
dude.
else was playing? What was it? Endgame? Is that why I missed it?
I can't
Wow.
tell you.
Okay. I turn in my X-Men card. Yeah, maybe that's the perfect way then, is to bring the X-Men. I saw, I think, a tweet or something today that said the Thor Love and Thunder movie would be a great way to bring Deadpool over. Just because like of director crossover and things like that or whatever, but I don't know. Let's talk about another topic, still Marvel related, but that is the host of television series that were announced during this event, to include The Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, WandaVision, What If, the first animated series in the MCU, and Hawkeye. All of these, I believe, Disney Plus exclusives. Let's start with the series themselves. Are there any you're excited about? Any that you'd be interested in watching? And then maybe expand the conversation a little bit to Disney Plus. But any of those jump out at you? Any of those make you like want to shell out the money for Disney Plus?
I'm gonna shake my head to all of them. I guess the Captain Falcon, um,
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Captain Launch, um, from F-Zero, Captain Falcon. That's the first F-Zero slash Marvel crossover. So
Falcon
Falcon
Punch.
and Winter Soldier. I'm interested in hearing about that. I feel like probably what I'll end up doing for all the Disney Plus shows is being interested in what the stories are, but not willing to shell out the money for another streaming service and just read about it on Wikipedia or on AV Club for the weekly reviews.
I feel like my family has already mentally budgeted for the fact that Disney Plus will be a persistent financial choice that
Burden.
we burden. Yeah, you could say burden. Um, we we love us some Disney in this house, and I also love me some Marvel. So, and Star Wars. So, all of that stuff. It just I will cancel another streaming service in order to make space for it. Is the reality. So, I intend to have Disney Plus, and I will be watching some of these. The Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like the idea. I like the idea of Sam picking up the shield and kind of following along with what the comics did, and I'm interested to see what they do. What those two kind of formed a good little buddy relationship through some of the recent films, and I think it'll be cool to see them as an actual pair in some adventures. I don't know about Loki. It's the Loki that survived like that one tangent in Endgame,
Yeah.
like the version of Avengers where he survives or whatever. So I don't know. It feels like a spin-off, and Loki never got his own movie or something. Loki's a fan favorite, so it could be good. The What If series is intriguing to me because those comics are really kind of bizarre in some of the pairings and things that they came up with. So, and for it to be animated, I'm curious if it will feel a little bit like anthology-ish in like not just the stories, but the styles of animation. Like if for one they do, I don't know, like a classic, like 80s sort of like type of drawing, and then the next one it looks like, I don't know, Into the Spider-Verse or something, and they play with those sorts of things. I think
They're like, what if Cap was a Hydra agent?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like
Like yeah.
what if Loki survives Endgame?
They just do what ifs of all the other shows. Yeah. What if
What
Disney owned all the properties? Yeah.
Um, is yeah. I mean, another streaming service, whatever. The same thing. We talked about CBS All Access earlier. As a huge Twilight Zone fan, even I'm like, I just can't. I don't want to pay for another streaming service to watch those episodes. So I know there's a lot of other stuff that comes with Disney Plus. I know that, but I don't care about it right now. And
Disney. Disney.
you're a Disney guy. If they had like a Rick and Morty Plus, I wouldn't pay for that either.
Which,
That just shows
by
my
the
dedication.
way, like I know this isn't interdimensional RSS, but if you go to Adult Swim's streams, they literally marathon Rick and Morty just like around the clock. So you can
Around
just like, and I think they show up in order. So I think if you had nothing to do and you caught it at the right time, you could just watch every Rick and Morty episode. I don't know. I haven't tested that theory, but there's a lot of Rick and Morty on Adult Swim.
Yeah. Yeah,
Talk.
well, and maybe you start watching it and then some guy shoots fucking shirts at a crowd for 30 minutes while we're waiting for a panel, you
For
know?
more on that, download the latest episode of Interdimensional RSS.
Um, so, okay, I want to talk a little bit more about something sides, not MCU superheroes, but other superhero stuff that doesn't pertain to SDCC. Is there anything else from the Comic Con that you wanted to bring up?
Uh, Walking Dead season 10 got a premiere date. I can't believe
Oh,
that show's still on.
comic's over though, so that's good.
What's that?
The comic's done, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Get you 193.
It'll all round out. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything else. I'm scrolling through a feed to see if there's anything else I was really hyped about. Um,
Okay.
the Boys season 2 is already in production. Have you watched the whole series?
I haven't watched the whole series, and that's what I wanted to bring up. I wanted to bring up The Boys. The Boys was originally a comic series written by Garth Ennis over at Wildstorm, and then eventually Dynamite Entertainment. I didn't know that it was a comic series, and honestly, I didn't. I you're scrolling through Twitter, they have the automatic videos that pop up, and I kept seeing something for The Boys, and I'm like, don't care. And I just
Yeah.
scroll right past.
Moving on. Yep.
Um, and then I started seeing people talking about like the buzz of how good it was, and so Chelsea was like, "Hey, there's this show. It's on right now. It started today. You want to watch it?" I was like, "Yeah, let's watch an episode." And so we watched the first two episodes, and it's so good to me. It's really good. So for those, have you watched any of them?
No, Sheena and I intend on starting it this week.
Okay, so the non spoiler plot of all of it is that there are superheroes in this world of the show, and they look good to everybody. You know, they're doing great things, but really behind the scenes, they're just corrupt as all get out. And so the titular boys are trying to take the soups, as they call them, out. Um, the first episode is good. It has some dark stuff into it. I don't recommend it for kids because there are blood and adult situations. And when you start up a show and it goes through the list of like adult content, viewer discretion is advised. It has like 5 or 6 different categories of things to watch out for kids, uh, and they're all applicable. Great show. Chelsea, when she watched the first two episodes, she's like, "This is really good," and I feel bad for thinking it's really good, because, and I didn't consider this. There's other comics out there. I think like Irredeemable, Superman Red Sun. If you ever played the games, the DC, the DC fighting game where like Superman is a bad guy because Joker killed Lois Lane. Um, some of these kind of concepts and themes of superheroes being bad guys
Yeah.
have, if you've been around, you know that these are things. But I hadn't considered, like, Chelsea has never been around that. She doesn't know those stories. She knows Superman is a good guy, Batman is a good guy, all these people is good guys. And to watch this kind of show where she's like, oh, this kind of taints my opinion of these characters. Of course that kind of superhero would be a pervert. Of course they would. Oh,
Yeah, right.
it's good. It's good. I highly recommend it to anybody who likes superheroes.
Well, and season 2 is already in the works. So, yeah. I actually got a second recommendation for that at work today, and then I was like, seals the deal. Gotta watch this show.
Seal
Gotta
it.
watch it.
Seal it that deal it.
The dealeth is sealed. Something else that happened while we were not podcasting was another show on a streaming service by the name of Stranger Things. Stranger Things
yeah.
3 dropped on Netflix. Huge, epic release. I think like it set a record for the highest rated show. Like more people watched the entire series in like the first 4 days than any other show. I don't remember the specific numbers, and I was one of them. We finished the whole. It came out on the 4th of July, and I think I had the whole series this season done by the 8th or whatever. So I was a little slow. That's what I mean to say by that. But a recent story popped up on one of my social media feeds, or it may have been Reddit, where I was baffled because I didn't even think about this. But apparently on Twitter, there is like a meme going around where it's talking about someone posting on like a message board asking the question of why and I'm horrible with names. Is it Josh? Who's the older brother of Will?
I don't.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't.
The older brother that is dating Michael's older sister, right? And they both work at the newspaper. They're like newspaper interns. But he is into photography, and so he spends a lot of time at the newspaper in the dark room.
Yeah.
Which, when I say the dark room, I know what a dark room is.
Oh,
You
okay,
know what a dark room is.
I know what you're bringing up. Got it.
But apparently, to a lot of young people who only know how to take pictures on smart devices, or that's their only exposure to photography.
Exposure.
Got it. They had no idea what he was doing in this room, no idea what that room was. And so there were a lot of people that suddenly felt terribly old as all these young people questioned why he was in that room with, quote, the red light. And I want to know, Brandon, how that makes you feel as a man in your mid-30s.
It makes me feel old. You in school. You took some photography classes, right?
A little snap, green. I never actually took the photo course, but I had a lot of friends that did. I hung out in the photo room from time to time. But yeah.
So that's the thing. When I was in junior high school, way back when in the mid '90s, I took a photography class. We made our own camera out of like whatever paper or whatever.
Shoebox or something.
A shoebox, yeah. Pinhole, let it sit out there, get exposure for a couple hours, and then go into the dark room and develop our film. And so yeah, I knew that, but you know, it's an art that doesn't not necessary, right? Like I for an event for me, I was looking for old pictures of me, and I realized there was a split probably around from like 2004, 2005 ish, um, like a gap in time between 2005 to maybe about 2009, where I don't know where any of those pictures of my life are.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, because before that, it was all like, you know, I like the disposable, like
They're on MySpace.
yeah,
That's
they're
where
on
they
my.
are. That's where they are.
I went looking for them on MySpace.
But I
But
can't remember my password. I don't know. I think my account might be gone. I don't know.
I know they lost my songs on there, but that's another story. But yeah, it's so the digital age has basically erased these physical copies of things. It's strange, you know,
It's
and
one of those stranger things.
it's one of those stranger things. And I wanted to put pictures up on the wall. I see
Yeah.
you, Raz. raising your iPad. I want to put pictures on the wall and hang them. You have, you know, I don't know. I'd have to buy a printer again, I guess, to make that process easier. But I don't know. It makes sense that kids don't know it in the same way that if you show maybe a kid a rotary phone, an old rotary phone like with a handle like hello, hello, they wouldn't know what the hell that is.
Yeah. My kids will watch like movies from the 80s or 90s where they just have a home telephone, like a phone in the house, and they're like, "Oh man, I wish we had a house phone," and and I'm like, "Yeah, all right." It just doesn't
Not
make sense for us to have
not all
one,
that
but
great.
yeah, I could just
Really,
I could just drop in on my Echo Dot if I needed to talk to you
all
guys.
all it really does is let us track you by a wire, so we know that you're on the phone when you're not supposed to be late at night.
Yeah, exactly.
When you get like the receiver extension, like the really really like 20-foot cord, and like the little rings are like it's like going from the kitchen phone, like all the way into your
You
bedroom.
gotta like
And,
you you didn't have a cordless phone in your house.
well, we
Jeez.
didn't start with cordless phones,
No,
man.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Like I'm older than
Eventually, we upgraded. So, yeah. All right. Well, that makes us all feel old. Stranger Things 3. Did you finish it?
I did finish it. Uh,
Did you enjoy it?
I did. So, The Boys is really good. I really like that show. The first two episodes of Stranger Things season three, uh, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't blown away by it. And there's a lot of folks who say similar things about the first couple episodes. Um, I would say for those, if you can not just struggle through the first episodes because they're entertaining enough, but the plot doesn't kick in really until third or fourth, and then from there it's like okay, let's go ahead and finish this off. Um,
Yeah.
but the only name of the character that I remember throughout the show is Hopper. This is the only name I basically remember in the show,
Yeah.
uh, and he I feel like there were certain things about the season where they went a little like too heavy on the nostalgia or too heavy on the goofiness where it didn't really fit necessarily. Like there's a bad guy in this movie, and he's basically an an Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator clone, with even with like musical cues that are similar. It's like wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And he even has like he looks Austrian. He's got a gap in his tooth. It like very very heavy handed. And this season takes place in '85. Terminator came out in '84. So there's even like a bit of an anachronism involved with it. But
Yeah. I almost wonder, like, in terms of like the plot not kicking in until the third episode, if there's a writing strategy for some of these shows that are going to be heavily binged, and they're all going to be released on the same day, where you almost structure your story like you're writing a 10-hour movie versus a series of individual episodes, so that you can kind of slow burn those first couple episodes in, and establish some things, and not get super heavy on some plot and things, because of how people are just going to keep watching, and write out the whole story, and they're not gonna digest it one episode a week, and you have to worry about winning them back every week. Like, they can. I'm just
yeah,
really curious from like a production standpoint how that factors in, and we don't have any experts on the show who can tell us. But yeah,
yeah. If you know any experts about the difference between writing for a Netflix show versus a drawn out
yeah,
12 episode series throughout the year, let us know, and maybe we'll have them on, and we'll have them fight it out to
yeah,
the death.
to the death, to the death. Yeah, was something else I was gonna bring up about it, but I forgot what it was. So, yeah, good deal.
All
That's
right.
unfortunate.
Last little bit, Travis.
Oh,
Are
I know what it was.
cool. Hit me up.
D&D references, which have
Okay.
always been sort of central to Stranger Things.
Yes.
Um, I had never played D&D when the first season of Stranger Things came out. I
Second
think
too.
I don't think I had played when the second season came out.
Yeah.
And now we've played for a while, and it completely changes my ideas and thoughts about parts of the show. And when they talk about the bad guy in the season being the mind flayer or whatever, and I'm just like, that's not what a mind flayer looks like. Like I don't know, like I don't know. It has shifted my thoughts about elements of the show where I'm just like, I still appreciate that aspect of it, but now I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, that's cool. They just opened up a monster manual and like, what's our bad guy for this season gonna be? I don't
Next
know.
season, it's a beholder.
It's you probably spoiled season 4 just for all of our listeners now. Well done.
Oh
Yeah.
jeez. Oh jeez. Yeah. I guess I'm a surprised by that being your reaction to like haven't played D&D and then being like, oh cool, they put references in there. That's great. That's not what that looks
Well,
like
I
for.
recognized that there were references to it from the first season. Even not playing it, I realized like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
where they
but
pulled some of those names. But it just
you took it at that point in time. It was references of things you knew were D&D, and you're like, oh, like when somebody watches Big Bang Theory, they're like, yeah, I recognize they're saying something about
I
this.
know they're talking about astrophysics. I don't
Yeah,
understand astrophysics, but I
right.
know they're talking about it.
Exactly. Um, c- yeah. So I just because you could look at it too as these are just kids and they're trying to put a name to something that is unexplainable to them except
Yeah,
for what they've been experiencing in a game, right?
yeah.
Like it's the easiest thing for them to push out.
And
And
in terms of like what the monster in this season does and how it operates, calling it a mind flayer, it kind of fits, right? Like it's yeah, but and I that is I don't mean that to seem like a criticism of the series or the show. Like I don't mean that at all. It
yeah,
just
you hate the show, I get it.
yeah, exactly. You nailed it. I hate it.
Stay tuned for season 4 when they introduce Sturges.
Sturges and bugbears in season 4 of
uh
good times. We're about to wrap up my adventure in D&D and you're going to kick something off at
yeah.
some point. So that's our D&D update.
There you go. Having fun. Having fun. By the way, let me publicly come out and say this. This last session that we did, you introduced you had a puzzle in there. And this puzzle was should have been a very simple puzzle. But I'm not good with those things. And so
I
John
want
and
to
I
go
okay.
ahead cuz I want to
Oh,
tell
no,
you the backstory of this puzzle, but I want to hear what your thoughts were first.
okay. So this puzzle here's what it is, okay? There's
Well,
8
I can,
oh.
I can tell it as the riddle as I heard it because
Oh,
I a couple weeks ago
do you
was at meetings for work. I was in like a conference. I was there with some other people, and there was a lull in the conference, and we were just kind of sitting around. And this guy that I was there with, he's like, "You like riddles?" I was like, I enjoy a good riddle."
are you
And
hitting on me?
he's like, I got a riddle for you. So the riddle that he told me is that you have 8 pills. All of the pills are the same color, the same size, the same shape. There's no way to differentiate the pills um, objectively, but one of the pills is lethal. It will kill you immediately, and that pill is just like the tiniest bit heavier. You couldn't tell the difference holding them in your hand. But thankfully you have a balance scale, but unfortunately the balance scale is in really rough shape, and so it can only be used 2 times before it will break. How can you, with 100% certainty, identify the lethal pill you only using the balance scale those 2 times? And so he told me this riddle at the conference. The conference went on for a little bit, and then at the next break, I really started thinking about it. and I like was like drawing in my notebook, and I was like, and he was like watching me work through it, and the elation on my face when I figured out the answer. I was like, ah, yes, I got it. But that was like the first day of a week-long conference, and this riddle went through the conference, and it was shared with other people, and some
Yeah.
people took several days to work on it, and some people got it, within minutes or whatever. Like, so when I was organizing this part of the campaign, and I wanted there to be some puzzle element, and you guys were trying to identify an amulet, and that's why you guys were there. I thought, okay, I could twist it a little bit, have there be 8 amulets that all look the same, all feel the same, or all made out of the same thing, but you have to use this large balance scale, and I talked it up to be like a sculpture type thing, that you have to use that balance scale to identify the right one. And I figured that with 3 of you working together, like, we wouldn't end up in that group that took multiple days to figure it out, and that you guys working together could probably figure out, which was the case. So
Yeah. Well, and thankfully, we had Kevin in the group with us to help us through that riddle, because you know there's an aspect of being together as a group, especially when we're looking at time and trying to move forward and progressing, or like just trying to speed my way through the logic and being like, this is a numbers thing. There's numbers and it's hurting me, and my brain like slowly reversing and shutting down. And Kevin right away was like, and by the way, if you want to know the answer to this riddle and you want to figure it out yourself, hey, have at it. Stop listening. Thank you for listening. Um, but so Kevin right away said, well, okay, so you put 4 and 4 on each side, then okay, then you know that one side is heavier, so then 2 and 2, well, that doesn't work 'cause then it's a 50-50 at that point in time. And we're stuck on that for a while. And well, I wasn't stuck on that. He was stuck on that. And John and I were like, maybe make another scale on the side.
and that's what a lot of people do, is they try to like really think outside of the box, and
Yeah.
like what if I threw them all into the air and then one of them would hit the ground faster or something. And it's so you really have to hammer home, like, use the scale. You have to use the scale to determine this.
Yeah,
um
yeah. And then so Kevin for a second was like, well, let's just do it. And then we're like, oh, okay, okay. John and I were like, yeah, okay, okay. And then he's like, oh, I got it. I got it. And I was like, all right. And my voice like, all right, Tempest, tell us what it is that you've got. And so he's like, this is here it is. 3 and 3. You put 3 on one side, 3 on the other. If they weigh this, if one's heavier, then okay, cool. Then toss the other ones out. So then now you have 3 left, and then you put 2 on one side, 1 on the other. If they weigh the same, you know that the one in your hand is the heavier one. If if one of the 2 on the scales is goes down, then you know that is the right one, and the one in your hand weighs just as much as the other one. Uh, and I was like, well, holy shit, there it is. There's the answer. E-
it
Simple.
was funny because when he said 3 and 3, immediately I was like, no, he's got it. I knew, like, he's got it figured out. But you guys were like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, and he kind of had to like walk you guys through it a little
Yeah,
bit to be like,
yeah.
no, this, yeah,
Well, it's, as soon as I realized, oh, okay, well, so then the 3 that were left, that's the answer. John was like, we had to be like, he was like, wait, no, no, well, don't do that yet. And then we went through one more round of this explanation, and then we're
yeah.
like, there it is, there it is. So I commend you for incorporating that into there, because I thought that was something that we hadn't in all of our sessions playing the game, hadn't really gone over, like an actual like puzzle type aspect. We've done I've gone up and I've climbed statues and stolen eyes and then had the ceilings crushed on me,
Yeah.
but not really.
There've been traps throughout experiences, but we haven't had a real like puzzle. So really, the only like other than like stagnant traps that you activate and fighting like monsters, there hasn't been any other like barrier to progress, so to speak.
Yeah.
Other than you guys goofing off. So I would and I personally love like puzzles, and I like that's part of the thing I love about adventure games like Zelda and things like that, where you have to go and put the puzzle together and figure that all out. But there is a challenge, and I can't say if this is a challenge in an in-person session when people are sitting around a table, but we have the disadvantage of also being like spread out across the internet, so that when we play, I can't set like a board or something down on the table in the middle of you guys and be like, all right, this is the layout of something and you guys have to solve this puzzle or something. So most of our communication is verbal, other than the use of maps in Roll20. And so finding ways that I can do effective puzzles for you guys that makes sense in that. Riddles really kind of are a good way to do that, but then there's the aspect of having to kind of morph it into something that fits with the story of what's going on too. But I really enjoyed that part of the session as well, and thought it was fun. So
yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So anyways, thank you for that. And that is our D&D Noobs update.
There it
Brought to you
is.
by Apathetic Enthusiasm. All right. Well, so I think that should cover everything that we discussed. Yeah, no, I'm glad to be back with you, Travis.
Yeah.
Good to have you back in my life.
Good to be talking. If anyone watching or listening at home has topics that you think are worthy of discussion, feel free to share those with us. We'd love to take your comments, take your feedback, and include that as part of a show. So whether that's sending us an email at apatheticenthusiasmshow@gmail.com, leaving a comment in a review over at Apple Podcasts or something like that, or joining us live when we record these episodes over on Twitch or on YouTube. Make sure that you are subscribing on those platforms if you want to see the video versions of these podcasts. If you don't catch it live, the podcasts are still up there. Yeah. We're keeping them there. So if you are a strictly audio listener but you want to see which one of us is the bald one, then you can head over to YouTube or Twitch. Just search Apathetic Enthusiasm. You'll find our channel, and you can watch videos after the fact. So thanks to everybody that's doing that. Thanks to everybody that hung out in the chat. Oh, hello, have a good day, Face. Welcome back to the end of the episode. And I think who else do we have? Omar was here.
Omar.
Derek Squeeze was joining us, as well as Daniel Green, of course. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and giving your feedback. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, I'm Travis.
Hey, and I am Brandon. Thank you so much for being in our lives.
Roll that music. That's the stuff. Bye.
Bye.
And I have stopped recording the audio version of the podcast.
I have also stopped recording the audio version of the podcast. But hey, guess what? We're back. We're here now.
We're still here. I have to use the restroom, but I will continue for a little while to say hi to those of you still hanging out. Have a good day, Faces, over on Twitch. We still got some people hanging out over in YouTube land as well. What's going on, everybody? End of the episode? That's right.
Yeah. Hey, now's the time to ask us any question you want answered. Well, you ask a question. I will repeat the question out loud, and then I will answer the question. Ooh. Have a good day, Face. Over on Twitch, he says 1 or 2 ? Well, to answer this question, Travis, you need to go to the bathroom. Just go ahead and do that. I don't know what Matt's referring to, but I will answer this question 1 or 2.
I think he's asking what kind of bathroom I have to go. 1 or 2.
Is it a porcelain or is it an outhouse made of porcelain?
I'm not going out this door. I'll tell you what. I guess I'll be right back. We just leave the stream running.
Yeah. I'll handle this. I'll handle this. Have a good face over on Twitch. Have a good day, face. He asks, "Is Travis gonna deuce?" Well, Matt, Travis didn't answer that question. The one or two, but what he did, uh, kind of leave us, and we can induce from his body structure, body structure, his gestures, is that he does need to just pee really bad. I didn't see him drink anything the entire time, so he's probably good. Just for pee pee out of his pee hole. Um, uh, yeah, I mean we can get more into that. Okay, so over on Twitch, hey, by the way, if you're on YouTube, be sure to send us these questions. Okay, this is your time. This isn't our time. This is your time. Also, have a good day, Faces time, evidently, because he asks a question from Twitch. How do you know my name? Well, your screen name is right there in front of me. It says "Have a good day, Face," and you're also my best friend, Matt Sizemore. Okay. Ooh, good question over there on the YouTubes from Omar. He writes, Preacher season 4 this Sunday. Expectations slash thoughts? Uh, Good question, Omar. So as someone who hasn't watched any but maybe like 15 minutes of one episode of Preacher, unfortunately, I know, I know, I hear it's a really great show. I want to watch the show. I haven't gotten around to it. I hear nothing but great things. Um, I don't have any expectations other than it to hopefully maintain the same level of quality it has for the last 3 seasons. Do you have any thoughts on it? Are you looking anything from the Dominic West, or is that McNutty from The Wire? I don't know. Hey, Travis, have you watched Preacher? Have you watched any of those episodes?
Preacher?
Yeah,
No, I
it's on
don't think.
AMC.
No, I didn't watch it.
It's about zombies that they take over like Georgia and the kind of the South, and then there's a guy who has a kid.
Yeah, I've seen ads for it. I I, I think the last thing I watched on A&E was like
Not
Breaking
A&E,
Bad,
not
or not
A&E, AMC.
AMC. That's what I meant. Yeah. Or
A&E.
no, I guess Walking Dead was the last thing I watched on there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So to answer your question, Omar, thank you for bringing up season 4. Yeah, damn it, his name is Dominic, but it's not. I don't. It's not like it's West. I don't think it's Monahan.
It's
Because
not
Monahan,
Dominic Monaghan. No. It's
because he's
not.
from Lost. And also, I made a joke about there being zombies. I know there's not any zombies. I was making a Walking Dead joke.
Yeah.
Um.
Matt asks who is the greatest Avenger.
Oh. That would be Uma Thurman with Ray Fiennes in the movie The Avengers,
The Avengers.
based off the '60s television series.
Excellent response.
Dominic
Excellent.
Cooper. Thank you. Ah, damn it, Omar. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Uh,
So until I get some more questions, Travis, I played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black
okay.
Order on Switch,
Mm-hmm.
with a kiddo. It's a pretty good game. Um, the Infinity Stones are there. There's uh, I read a review. I think it was on IGN. They're like, God, I'm sick of the Infinity Stones already. I get it. They don't have to be in every single Marvel
Yeah.
story
Yeah. Yeah.
forever and
It's
ever.
just it became so central to the MCU that, like, I don't know, normals, I guess, which, or people that own their only exposure to Marvel is through the MCU, like, it just feels like that has to be central to the story,
Yeah.
because you can't, like, I don't know, randomly throw like Galacticus out there or something and be like, yeah, this is, I don't know.
Galactic.
Kill Bill Chapter 3 is in talks. What?
What? Oh,
What?
that's gonna be his 10th picture after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I want to see. I hear some really good things about
Once
that.
Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's most successful box office debut of all of his films. Um, I heard that news at a gas pump while pumping my gas, and it had a TV
On the
on.
chive, the chive.
I, I don't know. Like the gas station I went to has like TVs in the gas pumps, and
Yeah.
they do like entertainment news and stuff. They also had one of those like, what is it, tasty videos or whatever, where they like
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I
Yeah,
know, I know the gas pumps. Yeah,
it's
that's
insane. It's
they're-
insane.
they for some reason they have the chive. I went to a restaurant the other day, and there's a chive channel where they're just showing bloopers and crap, just like nonstop.
Like the website
Yeah,
Chive,
I
like
think
with
they have
the Bill Murray thing.
like a
I don't
cable
know.
TV. I don't know,
I don't
man.
know. I've never been a big chiver. Sorry, guys. Uh, what state do I even live in now? I live in Nebraska, where the state motto is "It's not for everyone."
Ask us a deep question. Come on, ask
Uh,
one
they
deep.
ask why did Captain Marvel cut her hair?
I was
F
have a good day face.
F that weak move. She has short hair in the comics.
Yeah, yeah.
It matches the character.
there, there you go. It matches the video game as well. Once upon a time in Hollywood, I have a friend who lives in Hollywood right now, and he posted the very very long post. His mother passed away not too long ago, a couple years maybe. She was the first female disc jockey in the LA area,
Wow.
and he was just saying like he's seen the movie twice, and just uh, the level of detail that Tarantino put into the film, as far as like how often or how much a part of life radio was back in the day, how it permeates every kind of ambiance and atmosphere of that time, that his mother would have really appreciated that, that attention to detail. So again, I want to see it. I think it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony.
No, I would like to see it as well. I also haven't seen Lion King yet. Did you go see Lion King?
I didn't see Lion King, and guess what I'm going to see this weekend?
Lion King.
No, if I can help it, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't care about Lion King. The Disney remakes, not a fan.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's
Call,
fair.
call me crazy.
It's fair. It's
Call me old
fair.
fashioned.
I'm trying to. Okay, Jungle Book was good.
Okay, I'll give you that. Scarlett Johansson really can play any character based off of that movie.
uh, yeah, I'm trying to think of another Disney remake where I was like, nah, that was really good. And they've all just been like, yeah, that was the movie I remember from my childhood with live action. And that is the part where this Lion King remake is like, it's still an animated film. It's just a different style of animation.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Matt asks, "What sports video game are you both best at?" Are you both best at? Like together as a team, we're both best at?
Yeah. What do we crush people at? Obviously, Rocket League.
Rocket League. Oh shoot.
There's a Rocket League ball right there. Look at
Oh dang. No.
that. Thanks, Luke. Great. Sports video game that I'm good at.
Yeah. You don't even play sports video games.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I did when I was heavy on the Xbox, and we had that EA Plus thing or whatever. And so I got all the like 2-year-old EA sports games for freebies. Played a lot of NBA Live for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
So I will answer your question with Blades of Steel. on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
So Matt and I recorded I think a podcast, and I think I said that Blades of Steel was my I made that yeah, similar joke probably.
No,
Uh,
I remember playing that game. I think I downloaded an emulator of that game because it reminded me of my childhood.
yeah. So a little bit of discussion on Lion King over on YouTube. Daniel, yeah, our man, original animated was way better. Uh, Omar tells you to save your money, and he says that the new cast didn't bring the funny like the animated version. Didn't have enough emotion. Daniel says seemed bland,
Well, and
and
I think that's the tough thing when they're trying to animate the animals to make them look realistic and make it look almost like a documentary. You can't have the same level of over exaggerated emotion that you can with animals that have a little bit more human characteristics. It won't. I'm guessing. I'm guessing Timon didn't wear like a hula skirt. If he did, I don't know what to think. But yeah,
you could be a big pig too.
Oi!
Yeah.
Good
Well,
times. Good times.
you
Look
can't.
at
You
this.
can't.
Look at this.
Oh,
Look at this bonus content our video viewers are getting. You guys are the real MVPs.
you are the real VPs. Yes, yes, yes. Matt followed that up with what realistic simulation sports video game are you both individually best at? So thank you for the clarification. That would be MMA 2012. When
Does Mario Kart fall in that category?
yeah, Mario Kart be in that category. I think you beat me at Mario Kart. You don't beat
I
me at very many games,
I
Travis, but
have beat you at Mario Kart. That is a fact.
yeah. So I think at Mario Kart you're better than me. Um, yeah, I used to think I was good at Mario Kart, but
Matt's pulling Durant daggers out of my back from 4 years ago right now. It's so rude. Mario Kart, go on as you were.
Omar invites you, Travis, and you, Mateo Masgrande, out to Florida for a few drinks. Uh, the first round on him.
I want to go. I want to go to Florida. I would. My plan is I'd like to go to Florida next year in 2020, and then San Diego going back to Cali, Cali in 2021. Those are plans that I have, unless I become independently wealthy in the next few months. In which case, let's do both.
Well, let's do both. Let's do both.
So head over to patreon.com/Rick and Morty Pod and help make those dreams a reality.
That's right.
Yeah, no, let's totally hang out, Omar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Matt has family here in Tampa. I don't know if you know that, Travis. Now you do.
Well, we both consider you family, so I just assumed that was
Dave Flash Morgan is one of the DJs out here in Tampa, and that's old Matt's uncle. Not that that matters to you, because you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Daniel likes the mug. Yeah, we got them. The
Oh,
mugs.
oh shit!
The old and the new. I gotta make an AE shirt. I have to do that in the next 2 weeks before our next episode. Is I have to make a Apathetic Enthusiasm shirt.
Oh, I have a question. I have a question. This is
Okay.
mostly for Omar and Daniel, and you, Travis. Matt, you're here, but yeah, this is you can interrupt when you want. So something I didn't mention on the podcast, by the way. Oh, look at this. Oh, it says cruise on it. This weekend is the Tampa Bay Comic Con, and Sunday I have the panel for Rick and Morty. So uh, part of that is me figuring out what to actually talk about with Rick and Morty. Obviously, some of the Comic Con stuff that came out, the two main images, pulling from what Royland and Harmon said in their interviews, and then 20 minutes of people giving me their um, in there and out there theories. Is there anything I'm missing?
Um, when does season 4 come out?
Fu- Fuck you.
Why don't you
No,
shut up? Why don't you shut up and go back to making season 4?
they tell me that. Just starts yelling at me about that.
I hope so.
Why
I
are you
love
doing
it.
panels? You're not even working on season 4 right now, loser.
Yeah.
Um,
You know what and I'm glad you're doing this this panel and all, but I remember our last episode of Interdimensional RSS and how happy we were by the flood of content and information coming out of San Diego and into our eye holes, and we were just like, yes, like, we're gonna have so much to talk about. We're coming out of the dark place, and we're gonna have so many like Rick and Morty things to discuss. And now we're like halfway to our next episode, and I'm like, crickets.
what are we gonna talk about?
There's been nothing. So I'm just like, oh man, we're gonna have to talk about Brandon's panel again.
We are.
Yeah.
If so, Omar thankfully is gonna be there as my AV guy. I just have to get
Nice.
trained up on things. So I won't screw it up this time. Omar will screw it up if anybody does. Uh, for recording the audio and getting it so I can put it out there. And so we could talk about it briefly, and then we can have that as our next episode as far as content is concerned.
Yeah.
We do have an
And we have
oh,
an interview coming up next month as well, so that'll be
yes,
fun.
yeah. Which have you read that book yet?
I have read some of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
me neither. Um, we have
I
to
took
try.
I took it on that trip with me. I read the intro and some of the first chapter. I'm gonna read segments of it, I think, and get a good sense of some of the topics I want to talk about, and then I don't know if I'll read the whole thing. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just do like Jimmy Fallon does and just play some celebrity games. Um, Daniel recommends having a costume contest for the panel. That so part of the problem that I run into is not that there aren't people in costume there. It's people actually attending the panel in costume. So like to organize a costume contest, I would love to have that, and I would love to just be like, hey, here's a gift for the best. I love your outfit. But if there's like one person in there, then it's not much of a contest.
Kind of a throwaway.
But I have that as an ad lib in my pocket. And you mentioned trivia, and I just flashed the cards. I will definitely do that. I'll have the
Do you
trivia.
have any sweet like merch or swag you can give away?
I do have a few more of the Symbiote Studios plushes
Good, good.
that was actually technically supposed to send off. I still have her address. I just haven't sent them to her. I have one or two left. I'm gonna hit up the Comic Spot to convince John Michael and Michael to give me some more merchandise.
Were
to
we
give-
supposed to? Did they stop making those, or did we just stop working with them? How did that work out? Maybe
just
that's not a discussion for YouTube, but
Yeah, well, we can put it on YouTube. We just kind of stopped talking to them, and then we stopped kind of pushing our weekly episodes as much.
yeah, that's true.
I reached out to them maybe 2 weeks ago, right before Comic Con, which is probably another reason we haven't heard from them.
They've been busy.
I was like, hey, we're about to do a panel in Tampa Bay if you want to send us some stuff or whatever, and they never responded.
So the question of merch is coming up again. That people want AE shirts. I'm sure there are people that might want interdimensional RSS shirts. But they want to know. Matt wants to know what kind of material the shirts are made of and things like that. I don't know. So when I make my shirt in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be using my at-home crafting tool, the Cricut Explorer Air Plus or whatever the thing's called, with iron-on vinyl or whatever iron-on transfer stuff. I'm just going to make one at home that way. I have the capacity to screen print myself. That won't be happening because it's all manual and that it's a pain. But this shirt we used to have up on our TeePublic page, which still exists, but you can't find this design on there because Turner Broadcasting gave us a whatever cease and desist because they think it's too close to their stuff. So we have to find another good avenue to do that. If there's enough interest, like I'm all for putting merchandise back out there and available for people to buy. We just have to do the legwork to find the right platform to do that on. So, I mean, obviously, we still have all the files for these designs. Maybe we can take a look at if there's another good site that would be right for us to distribute them on. We're also kind of particular about which sites we work with because we weren't crazy about the idea that people could just upload any image and start profiting off of it, including copywritten images from other people, because we really want to respect others' intellectual property. So, that especially with things ramping up, we will look for a way to get some merch out there, probably under one overarching apathetic enthusiasm shop, so that it'll cover all the podcasts and all that stuff. Yeah. Do you wanna submit it for your approval shirt, Brandon?
Yeah, that's
cool.
Super famous podcast. I feel bad.
It's more popular than this one.
I need to get back on that, and I keep thinking about it. Got a lot of stuff going on. I have a couple episodes already kind of in the till, but the thing is, I have the till, but the till can't start until I get this next episode recorded. And I had this very, very personal constraint on myself. Like, no, for the seasons now, I don't want to have any repeat interviews or guests. And that really, I got really lazy. So I should change that policy and just be like, you know what? Let's just bring on a lot of different people. Repeat folks again. It doesn't matter. Just having people on there. Matt, you can come back on. Travis, you can come back on.
Yay.
Daniel, you can come on if you want.
Gives me an excuse to watch another Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Everybody whoever's watching this stream right now, you can come on, submit it for your approval, a Twilight Zone podcast. I'll pick an episode for you. You watch it. We'll discuss it. And then I'll push it out onto Apathetic Enthusiasm, Dortkerm.
Dort, Flort. Yeah, let's do it.
Your mom, Matt. Yes, what episode?
Oh, got him. You got him so good.
Got him.
All right. Well, yeah. What else is going on? This is what Brandon and I do usually after the shows. We're just continuing to stream it. So glad you guys could be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normally, I'm rendering the file to send to him. I should maybe do that too while we're at it.
Which means you get a first look at the episode before I edit it tomorrow, because I'm not at this point. I'm not editing it tonight. Yeah. So something I want to talk to you about, Travis, while we have Daniel on the line. I told him that I would have to talk to him next week about synergizing with social media stuff. Daniel still want to do that. Probably not really do that here right now, because you're not on a webcam, and we can't do that without you being on a webcam. So, want to talk about that, because we got you have your massive Rick and Morty collection. For those folks out there who are listening, Scary Terry Folds on Instagram. I mean, you put this wall to shame, Travis's wall to shame. You basically put all of our walls. You put Omar's super expensive Transformers collection to shame. That's right.
That's
Omar.
right. He said it. Yeah. And then Daniel never responded again. Oh, the emojis are out. He's loving it. Do you know any more Rick and Morty books coming out?
Comics or just about the show? So there's one by Matt Brady that we got an advanced copy of that we're gonna actually, we talked about it before. We're actually gonna read it or review it, have him back on. There's a very similar book that is officially sanctioned that's coming out, and it's being sold with the Rickmobile. So if you find the Rickmobile when it comes around your town, you'll be able to buy it. Uh,
The
and that
Rickmobile is gonna be, I think, in Omaha, like August
yeah,
or September.
yeah.
So I gotta remember that as well.
But the whole thing is like the science and inventions behind Rick and Morty. I think the one that's officially sanctioned is going to be like probably there's going to have lots more illustrations. It's probably going to be done in kind of like a Rick and Morty narrative esque way, a more creative writing type of way. Whereas Matt Brady's is much more uh, academic focused.
Right. Yeah, that
Yeah.
I think that's accurate.
So That's those are two that we are aware of offhand. Oh, for my birthday, I got a Rick and Morty Mad Libs, so maybe we can do that on the next episode, Travis.
There you go.
I got the Rick
Uh,
and Mad Libs.
I I am still shook by the fact that I completely missed the release of Dark Phoenix.
Dude, you're not missing anything.
Not I understand that the movie wasn't good. I'm not stressed about that. I'm shocked by the fact that a major studio film about superheroes came out in theaters and
Left.
left theaters and I did not realize. I figured out why though, because June 5th, its release date, was when I was on my family vacation.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Look at that Band-Aid. Look at that Band-Aid.
I
Get
know
up in that.
that's why I got closer. I wanted to
Get
make
up in
sure that
that Band-Aid.
the viewers. So if you're faint of heart, uh, don't watch this.
We're gonna have to put like a sensitive content.
This is it. This is Omar. When I get to work tomorrow, this is what you have to see. Damn it, stupid thing. So that was scar tissue that when I fell, it went and like because it looked like there's just like a giant. Look close. It looked like there's a giant chunk of skin missing. And like if I push up my nose, it's like, oh, look at me, I'm talking with it.
That by the way is the video that he sent me, showing me that he had injured his face.
But it wasn't. It was just like the scar was not happy with me. So thank you everyone for that.
Thank you for that.
All right. I think I'm about. I think I'm about done. Unless you have any last minute questions, Dex. I don't know who Dex is. I don't know who Dex is to get cake and chocolate. Omar. That's a wink for him.
Let me see. Oh, that's what I'm doing. I was gonna upload our stuff. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna make another podcast next week.
Yeah, we are.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna end our D&D campaign, and then you're gonna start up a new one.
Which will be interesting.
It will. Do you have any like apprehensions, any concerns, any thoughts going into that we could discuss openly on this forum? Without spoiling your campaign, but just
Apprehension. Yeah, I mean,
because I know you've led like a one shot, but
I feel the apprehensions about going into it are just when you want to put preparation into it. This is the the problem with DMing is you want to put preparation into it, enough preparation into it where you're like, okay, good to go, prepared, let's go in a direction, but not enough to where John and Brandon take your campaign into a completely different direction, into what maybe you had originally envisioned. So that's so my thing is I have a vision of this overarching part of the world where a bunch of stuff is happening, and being prepared enough to be like, okay, I know what's around this main city that you guys are starting in. I know what's happening in some of the surrounding cities. I know what like the main threat of the world is, what that history is in that region. So I can ad lib and push you guys and maintain consistency. If you're in this region, this particular region, if you
Mhm.
go outside that region, I don't have that backstory as fleshed out.
Right.
So so it is important for me to uh, make sure that the hook in the beginning is enough to motivate you forward into the region that I'm aware of and privy to. Uh, be- and if that hook's not strong enough, then it's gonna be like, well, I don't actually care about that. But that's part of why, like the survey I sent to you, Omar, you read it, Matt, you read it, uh, is like, okay, you know that your character's going this direction already. There's a reason. There's a reason. Whatever your character's reason is going there. So my hope is that based off that alone, you're not going to be like get there the opening scene and then be like, ah, no, I'm just going to go home. I'm going to go.
Oh,
I'm going to go
right. Yeah.
back down south. Right.
Well, and I think, especially if you have even a remotely compelling story hook, you can at least you're really setting a stage for people to kind of improvise into, and unless someone is really playing against the game itself, like in trying to play against the DM, like you don't you can still go with that flow, and like there's no reason to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go actually start potato farming, or whatever, which is something Dan Harmon did to Spencer on Harmontown. Um, but yeah, and so I think if you set up the world correctly, and you and you have an interesting place that's worth exploring, and especially because if you know our motivations, then you can help kind of guide us to, like, kind of leave those carrots out for us to chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I, I don't have concerns about that. One of the biggest things for me on like a week to week basis was the actual building of environments, because you guys said you really liked maps, and so having those created was something that just like, took time to do. But then
Yeah.
also like because you're building all of this, right? Like you're not
Yeah.
using like a pre-written campaign or anything like that. And I realized that there is a lot of work that goes into building encounters, building any kind of dungeon or things that you have to explore. That stuff takes time, and it takes and there's the possibility that you do a lot of work to get somebody in somewhere, and populate it with cool things, and then like your players figure out a way around it, or they figure out like, or they just don't enjoy what you're doing. See, that's the sort of thing where, like, I know that you've built the outline and those other things, but like, how are you feeling about the constructing of like encounters and things like that?
So y- yeah, I have what I'm really trying to do is and
Never let us fight anything.
when I have a little bit more time, I want to build some more of these. But I consider them, for the most part, kind of modular, in the sense that, okay, establish some encounters that could be cool and unique, and kind of capitalize on the different talents that you will have, which is why I need the character sheets, and for you and John to decide if you're both doing wizards or not. And then
I'm sticking with Montana.
yeah, okay, all right.
Monty will be a central character in this story.
You're sticking with your character. John is still on the fence, and that's his concern with sticking with the wizard, is his abilities will be too close to yours, and but that's not on him to make his make him feel unique. That is on me to help facilitate that. But regardless, I need your character sheets in order to start putting together some of those unique encounters, to be like, if you are good with, I don't know, tying string, that I'd be like, this encounter, oh,
Requires serious string tying.
exactly. I have a few encounters that are story based, and that they have, I've looked at what the rewards of those quests can be. Uh, I have some, like, even side stuff that I've put together, that isn't necessarily directly tied to the main storyline, but there's gossip or intrigue that can come out of it. Uh, Trying to keep it kind of thematically based. Uh, but we saw this with you've seen this. John has experienced this with when he did his one shot. He created a bunch of stuff on his map. We didn't. There was like a ghost that we could have fought, and it would have helped explore the backstory of this island that we're on in that portion, but we never got around to.
Yep.
But yeah, I being prepared but not too prepared. You know me, planned planned impulse. That's
Yep.
my
Yeah. So then the other big question, and this is something I've thought about as our party's DM, but as shifting that baton over, I think, um, I would want you to be comfortable with it as well. Is we've recorded, I think, all of our sessions. I think you probably have audio of all of our sessions.
yeah.
And we talked about releasing it as a podcast and things like that, but we just never really structured that in a way that we had some different ideas, and then we come and go from those. But we have this platform
Hmm.
all around us, that is YouTube and Twitch, and the reality is we could stream our sessions. There's not a ton of video from other players and things like that, but people could hear the campaigns, they could see the maps, and they could hear about the shenanigans that we get up to, uh, and it would also add more content to these feeds, which is the other element of that. So that's something I'd like to bring up to our group, is see if they're cool with us just streaming it and seeing where that goes.
Yeah. This is the last. Maybe this is the last bit. Is we are also we had been doing this traditionally. Our sessions on Sunday evenings, and we're now going to push them to, uh, for the most part, every other Friday night. Uh,
As
that
schedules allow. Yeah.
as schedules allow. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to be able to see Lou Gossett Senior, Omar. I have the audio. Um, Maybe we'll push that out there someday. But anyway, so every other Friday night, and I think that should allow us to. I have in my mind places in the campaign where we could have guests come on if necessary. Like, eh, Matt. I had he made a character sheet on D&D Beyond. Um, like, we could have him on for like a guest character and stuff like that. And he's never played D&D, so he'll probably fuck it up royally.
That's fine.
Uh,
Make him one of those, in and out sort of, you know, types of character. Like maybe we have to escort him on a quest or something or whatever that is.
but those Friday nights, I think, help out in that way, because Sunday night, you know this, Kevin, John, we start at 9, and it's just so damn late, and we all have to get up for work the next day. And when a session is only 2 hours, and this is something that John and I have talked about, is like, you're looking at the clock and you're like, well, we want to get to a natural kind of climax to the session. But if you're always looking at the clock to, like, where are we? Oh, are we like 30 minutes away? Well, let's not get anything too deep right now because we only
Yeah.
have 3 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think there have been many sessions where we are approaching the 2 hour mark, and I feel like we're just hitting like the climax of a session where like it feels like everything that we've done is ramping up to this thing, and then we're like, cliffhanger, yay.
Yeah.
So I do think Friday nights will allow us a little bit more flexibility to go long, to go later, and maybe structure those
Drink
campaigns
more.
out.
Be
Drink,
more
drink more. Yeah, that is
be
possible.
loosey goosey. Be
Yeah,
able to let loose without the fear of being like, ah, damn it, I gotta be up in 6 hours.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but I do think with the start of your campaign, if the rest of the party is cool with it, I would love to use that as an opportunity to start sharing our sessions with the small audience that we've already grown. But yeah, and let them see what they think, and maybe we can use that in your campaign, whether that's getting feedback from listeners. Maybe you can pull audience reactions and use that in later sessions or things like that. I don't know. Like, feel it out. Feel it out. Who am I to play God?
All right.
But
Yeah,
right.
we'll talk about that, and we'll push forward, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, and Dan, we'll talk to you in the next week or so about some synergizing efforts, and then Omar, I'll talk to you tomorrow at work, and then you can make fun of me for my nose, and Matt, I will talk to you about about your life and Brenda and all that stuff. So,
And we will do no talking tomorrow because we've done
no,
it.
because I can't get look. So I shouldn't take the Band-Aid off because the grease of my nose is making it so it doesn't stick anymore. Take it off. Stupid.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for enjoying some bonus content and asking your questions. And yeah, we love doing this, and we love that you like hanging out and
Yeah.
watching it. So, yeah,
So you
if
stay full time.
share our YouTube. Most of you guys are on YouTube. Share it with people. Like, help us hit that 100 subs so that we can make a decent URL. Appreciate you guys for hanging out though.
Help us help you.
Yay. All right. That's it. Bye.
All right. All right. Oh, wait.
The real outro music.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bye.